Welcome back to another video. Today we are back for another NFL video, and today it is a Week 6 game pick video. We have pretty much the game of the week, which is Bills and Chiefs. I'm not sure why it's not a prime time game. It's a 4 o'clock game. But we have this to get into. We have some upsets, players to watch, all this kind of stuff. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel before we get into it, because it is NFL content as long as the season's going on. Even afterwards, we're going to have our own videos going over NFL news, all that kind of stuff. So make sure you subscribe to never miss any of that. I also do Madden videos if you guys are interested in that, where I do no money spent and content, all that kind of stuff. So it's always football on this channel one way or another, so make sure you're subscribed to never miss any of those. And now into the picks. Obviously I did miss the Thursday night game, so that was kind of a coin toss anyway, and it turned to be pretty much boring the entire game like most Thursday night games this year, which is unfortunate, but we're not picking that one. First, over on Sunday, though, we're going to do 1 o'clock, which is Bengals and Saints. I'm picking the Bengals to win this one. I don't really see the Saints winning this. I mean, Dalton's been playing okay, but I think they're missing Michael Thomas. I think they're missing Marshawn Lattimore as well. So I don't really see that happening for the Saints. I think the Bengals will win this and go back to 500. So I don't know. I don't think there's too much to really look at there. Next is 49ers and Falcons. I obviously liking the Panthers. Do not like the Falcons at all. But I almost want to pick the Falcons with the upset here. I almost do. I am going to pick the 49ers, but the Falcons have come close in a few games against much better opponents like the Rams. They nearly came back. So I am going to pick the 49ers, but I could see the Falcons winning this, but if it happens, I didn't pick it. As for the Browns and Patriots, does anybody else have Nick Chubb in fantasy and he's just carrying their team? Because that is me over here. I absolutely love Nick Chubb. And because of that, I am going to pick the Browns. I think they will just barely beat the Patriots in this one. It should be pretty close. I think it's going to be mostly a ground game between the two teams. Ramondre Stevenson for the Patriots and Nick Chubb for the Browns. Bailey Zappe's been doing pretty well. I don't think it's going to come down to him at all. Honestly, I don't think it's going to be much of a passing game. I think it's going to come down to the ground game and defensive-wise. And the Patriots' defense, I would say, is better than the Browns, but they're a little inconsistent on offense. I think the Browns move the ball better, so that's why I'm picking the Browns in this one. As for the Jets and the Packers, I am going to pick the Packers. Packers got upset a little bit by the Giants last week in London. I'm not too worried about it. I think the Jets' record's a little inflated for how good they actually are. I think they are a decent team, but I don't think they're a 3-2 team. So I'm going to pick the Packers to win this. It might not be by very much, but I just don't see Zach Wilson beating Aaron Rodgers in Lambeau. As for Jaguars and Colts, the Jaguars did shut the Colts out last time earlier this year. This time, they are obviously not in Jacksonville. I'm going to pick the Jags again. The Colts are so inconsistent. Like they beat the Chiefs and it's like, oh, maybe they're turning their season around, and then they can't score a touchdown against the Broncos. So I'm going to pick the Jaguars, who once again, they are inconsistent as well, but they've at least proved that they can blow out decent teams like the Chargers. So the Colts can beat the Chiefs, but not very much. Jaguars can blow them out. That's my kind of thinking there. If they won once, I think they'll probably win again. Not much has changed, and the Colts lost Jonathan Taylor since, so I think the Jaguars are going to come out on top on that one. Vikings and Dolphins, I think, will be a good one, but Dolphins just not having Tua is just really hurting them, and I think Tyreek Hill is also questionable, so I'm picking the Vikings. They've looked really solid. Justin Jefferson is just so good, so I think that'll probably be Vikings by about 6 or 7 points. Ravens and Giants, this game I feel like is a little underrated for this week because the Bills and Chiefs is just headlining this week completely, but this might be a really good game, and I'm actually going to pick the Giants to win this. The Ravens did beat the Bengals last week, but it wasn't really a good win. Lamar didn't look good at all until that final drive when he got him into field goal range. He threw multiple wide open touchdowns. Or overthrew. I don't know if I just said threw or overthrew, but I had to correct myself either way. He overthrew multiple touchdowns last week. They were very open, and the Giants have looked pretty solid. I mean, them beating the Packers was a big win. I think this will be a real test to see just how good they are. But there is nobody stopping Saquon. And honestly, the Bengals' run game was not bad against the Ravens. And Saquon clears Joe Mixon and Samaje Perine. So I'm going to guess he's going to probably have a pretty good game. And because of that, I think the Giants will actually come out on top. Buccaneers and Steelers. Now, this is rough because Kenny Pickett, he came in the game against the Jets, and they couldn't really win that one. And then he comes in to start against the Bills. They get absolutely blown out, and now he's played the Buccaneers. Granted, the Buccaneers defense has not looked as good as it did at the beginning of the season, but I just don't see the Steelers beating the Buccaneers. Their offense is just too slow. Pickett now has to try and find his rhythm, and I think over time he will be a good quarterback, but he's just getting thrown into two pretty good defenses 2 weeks in a row, so I do think the Buccaneers will win by probably a good amount in this one. And then as for our first 4 o'clock, Panthers and Rams, I'm a Panthers fan, so this might seem a little crazy, but I am picking the Panthers in this game. And so let me walk you through this real quick. The Panthers are missing JC Horn, which is a huge loss. I think he's doubtful for this weekend, but I'm still picking them, and here's why. Because this year, the Rams have somehow scored less points than the Panthers on the season. You can look it up. The Panthers have scored more points than the Rams this season, and the Panthers quarterback is in dead last in like PFF grades. So I'm picking the Panthers because the Rams have really struggled. They've struggled against very good defense like the Cowboys. The Panthers are not defense, are not Cowboys caliber defense, but they are a very solid defense. And I think Brian Burns will get to Matthew Stafford and pressure him. So I'm going to pick the Panthers in a bit of an upset in this one. So we'll see what happens though. And then the next 4 o'clock, which is Cardinals and Seahawks. I'm picking the Seahawks in this. I really like the Seahawks this year, which is funny because I really did not like them going into this year. I thought they'd be horrible, and now Geno Smith is like the best quarterback in the league or something. I don't even know what's going on, but I'm picking the Seahawks. I think they're more, I don't know, their offense just looks more put together than the Cardinals does. The Cardinals, I think, do get D-Hop back this week, or maybe it's next week, I forget now. Either way, I'm picking the Seahawks. I think even if they had D-Hop, his first game back, I wouldn't pick him. I'm picking the Seahawks just because their offense looks so good. Their defense has struggled. It's not been the best. But the Cardinals haven't looked the best either. So I think this is a very winnable game for the Seahawks. We'll get to see what Kenneth Walker can do because, unfortunately, Rashad Penny is out for the season with a broken leg. So I think this will be a pretty close game, but I think the Seahawks will win this one. And then the game everybody has been waiting for this week to talk about, to watch, all this kind of stuff. I'm so excited to watch this game. But Bills and Chiefs, 2 4-1 teams. They are in Kansas City. I think Buffalo is like a 2.5-point favorite to win this, or maybe Chiefs by 2.5. I can't even remember. But I'm going to pick the Bills because the Chiefs, that one loss was pretty bad. It was to the Colts. The Bills got upset by a good Dolphins team. But the Chiefs lately have looked really good on offense. They've looked absolutely amazing on offense. But I don't see Travis Kelce getting 4 touchdowns again. You know, like that doesn't happen. That just doesn't happen. And if he wasn't doing that last week, if he wasn't getting open and getting the end zone, they would have struggled against the Raiders, which they really did only, barely win that game. So I am going to pick the Bills. They look to be very good. I think Josh Allen's going to be very locked in after the playoff loss last year. I think a huge part of that playoff win last year was Tyreek Hill. And Mahomes has proved Tyreek Hill. I mean, he can win without him. I'm not going to argue that. He can win without Tyreek Hill. But I do think the Bills will edge this one out because of just how good their team is as a whole, and the Chiefs have struggled a little bit on defense as well. Last week, Devontae Adams did really torch the Chiefs defense, and, the Bills, Stephon Diggs, he's been playing great, so I kind of like that matchup this week. I think the Bills will win this, just barely, but, this game could go either way. I'm sure people betting is all over the place right now for this. And then the Sunday night game, which, once again, should be a pretty good game, is the Eagles and Cowboys. Now, I am going to pick the Eagles in this. I'm going to pick Cooper Rush's first loss to starting quarterback. But honestly, I don't think he's done anything Dak can't do. I really think he's just played solid football, and the defense has done the rest. Because the defense is one of, if not the best in the league. And that's what's really won them majority of their games. I think they get better when Dak comes back. I don't think they get worse. I think they get better when Dak comes back. So the Eagles have looked absolutely unstoppable. They've looked amazing. I'm picking the Eagles in this game by probably about 7 to 10 points. And then the Monday night game, which I'm sure everybody's thrilled about, which is another primetime game with the Broncos in it, so surely it won't be boring. But it is Broncos and Chargers. I'm picking the Chargers. I'm just going to hop right to it. I'm picking the Chargers. I can't see the Broncos beating them or many other teams at this point. They are so boring to watch. So I am picking the Chargers on Monday Night Football. I'm sure it'll be kind of a slow game, honestly. I feel like the Broncos just drag down every team they play. They're just playing so boring. So I think it honestly will be fairly close, but I think the Chargers will come out on top in this one. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for the video. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe button if you did enjoy. That way you don't miss any of my other football videos as well for the coming weeks and any news and all that kind of stuff. If you like Madden, like I said, I have that too. So thank you guys for watching. Comment down below any of the picks you agree or disagree with me with. And again, I'm sure if I didn't pick your team, you probably disagree with me. Unless you're a Panthers fan and I'm just overly optimistic, then you might disagree with me then. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.